evening, and welcome to Anime Analyst. And I'm having an equipment failure here. Welcome tonight. It's Monday night, and tonight we are going to be talking about the Elusive Samurai. And welcome to Anime Analyst. I am your host, Thomas Fry.
And I'm your co-host Hasnan Zaidi.
And we are kind of changing up our format, so bear with us a little bit. This is kind of like the first show with the new format, and right when I swung my microphone, the nut came loose. And that was just there, it's kind of like that old country saying, there's your sign. That's how your night's going to go. All right, The Elusive Samurai. This is a comedic story about early life in Japan, so to speak. I would say, 11, 1200? Those type, around those years. They got horses, but not like big wagon trains and stuff like that. It's still a lot of small, separate cities. Where back then, I think Japan had they had lords over the individual cities. They had an emperor, but the emperor didn't have control of everything. He just collected some money, and they had like a small national army, but not a huge one. So that's kind of the era that I've got that this is kind of from. It's a story about a carefree 8-year-old noble. He's content with his life. He's running around, and he doesn't kind of agree with his older brothers, and he's taking a different path, and he's having fun, and he likes disappearing from his attendants all the time and playing soccer and, doing what an 8-year-old kid is supposed to do in any normal life, at least that I'm accustomed to. And then, of course, the next scene, it's fire and brimstone, and everyone's, when back in Japan, when they would go and take over and say, all right, we don't like the king anymore, they would kill not only the king, but the entire family. They would kill lords that were, what do you call it, loyal to the king. Anybody that was loyal or friends with the king, you got killed when they took over. That way nobody would come back, and, it was a bloody mess. And they thought they got this kid. They missed him, and he is an expert at evading his schoolwork and everything else. So he took that ability and disappeared. So when I watched the first episode, I thought this was going to be like a serious, story about samurais. Boy, did I get a surprise in episode 2, but what's your first impression of this?
Yeah, it was same. Like when it started, I have no idea that story is going to take a turn by 360 degrees, and like it was a happy time. Like he was running away, and like everybody was happy, and within a second, the next scene came up, and everywhere the blood and the fighting, and like but like they show the I think this is like the real history, like where the betrayal happens, and the royal family, they are always surrounded by the peoples who want to throw them. And I think like
But then
this is
it
a very
ended there, though. That's the part that got me. All right, so for the first episode, the first half of the second episode, you're thinking you're in for a serious history lesson in Japan. And then it got into where it's not really my kind of anime. This is, even with it being about Japan's history, it really started taking a silly look at, what happened next. I didn't understand um, the priest that, is that what you call him? The guy that was helping him out and seeing the future?
yeah, I think we'll call him praise. And the way I think the story is, they explain it in the start, and they're just in the coming episodes they are waiting for that. Like even if you see the subordinates, he get on the way, and when they are fighting and they are in a bad position, they remember, no, we have to survive. Like there is going to be a battle after 1.5 years, the battle where he will take the stand. And but I like it like how they just form the party of the kids and they are like fighting with the. I don't think so. Like this is possible in real life. Like, but for an anime, it was like, and there was another like the comedy aspect was when they're bringing the things from this era, like when they show you a restaurant guy selling and he's like these kind of things, and they also have some good characters like the skills they have on the opposite side, like the guy with the eyesight, like he can look through like the binoculars like
Yeah.
he has. The next guy is with the super hearing powers, like these are the something. And you know me, like I like these theme anime like where they have samurais and they are fighting. And because I think for me, like to fight with somebody with the sword on sword is a real battle, like you will see the skills or the things. It's not like with a gun where somebody will just
Right.
pull a trigger.
How did all right, when they're in the battle and they're like running around with the thing in the arena, the first battle where this guy with the like super hearing and stuff is he's after this kid. He is gonna find this kid and kill him. And he's looking right at the kid and does not realize that's who he's looking for, and he gets into this battle and he's treating him just like any other, combatant that they're doing this game about, which I kind of forgot what the game was. It wasn't something with arrows and
Yeah, it was a competition where they were hitting dogs and they
yeah,
were like having points and the guy and you like if you see like they have every scene every time they have some comedy in it. Like when the priest told him like you can hit the red dog, that we just train him for the entertainment of the people. Like it's not the real guy who's, and the dog is also begging him hit me so I can go out.
all right, everyone. As we're getting into this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on our channel. We'd appreciate it. Make fun of us, do whatever you want to do. Come have some fun with us, but listen to us because we are here to tell you about these animes and to give you our opinions and our views. But do remember, those are our personal views and our personal views alone. I gotta bring up this one. I can't wait. I'm gonna bring it up now. I was gonna bring it up later in the show, but Thumbhead Dude. Okay, when you put your thumb up to the screen, you're like covered to. The whole anime is this. I mean, I thought it was going to be something different, and then they bring modern things into it. Even in the ending, they're wearing modern Japan grade school kids' clothes, and wearing like they were 1,300 years later, and all the different things like that you mentioned that they bring from modern. I'm surprised they didn't bring like a radio and a TV and a microwave into it. It
I
was
think they have, yeah, like they were, and there is a story narrator, like who is giving you the backstory every time the anime is going forward. Like they will give you a
Do you remember
backstory.
this one where he is going around butting everybody in their heads? I don't explain this, please.
Yeah, if you see, like they have the, it's like 17 plus, like the audience for this anime is like, and but the
Oh yeah,
same, yeah, and but the comedy parts is like for the kids, like who are in like the pre-teens age, like the same age like the characters in the animes are, like the thing they're doing. And how, what do you think about this guy, the Fukuri guy? Like he plans his battles with the food. Like he is always like he's making the plan, or that he's using the food to like place the things here
now,
and there.
now there was one part I really liked when his name was Hojo, right? Okay,
Yeah,
when
he's
he
from
goes
Hojo clan.
down, when Master Dude loses his future sight, and he ends up down by the pond, and his kid, I think it's his kid, his daughter, was down there, and she was doing this dance. I think it was on the ice, and it kind of blew me away because the whole scene was kind of beautiful, and then they go into their comedy thing again. But that was a good episode. I liked that episode, but some of them I personally couldn't get past. I There were a couple 7, 8, 9. I struggled watching the whole thing from beginning to end because some people like that type of comedy, and me, I wasn't sure what direction. They didn't stay with one direction. Now, I actually, believe it or not, I was able to get the plot out of it. I mean, I got the plot. I was able to follow the storyline. The main characters were the 5 kids that were around him, and they did a phenomenal job, well better than any adult in it. Um, so I followed the big points. I'm just not a big fan of um, I, this type of anime, I guess you could say, but it met enough for your requirements to be a samurai anime, right?
Yeah, samurai anime, and like the I think it was a good balance for me. Like they have comedy, action, and everything. Like when he was fighting with Shogun in the room and the room was closed, like they trapped him, and but I was confused, like why they didn't kill him. Like the guy with the eyesight, he pick it up and
Well,
took
if
him
you
with
kill
him.
the main character, you kill the show. So, I mean, you can't kill off the kids that he needs to be able to produce the anime. I mean, it, it's the old Star Trek red shirt, yellow shirt, blue shirt thing. If you're wearing a red shirt and you got a spot on Star Trek, I hate to say it, but you're probably only going to be there for one episode. So, I kind of, that's like a joke now. I kind of watch, are they wearing a red shirt? I mean, or are they not? I mean, they bring them in with, the proper color shirt, but every time that oddball on Star Trek would be wearing red, he wouldn't be there at the end of the thing. So, I do I think they did a good job with kind of leaving you wanting to see the next episode to finish what was going on with all the characters in there. They did the direction. The job that the director did with this anime he did a really good job. I do think it's on me, I think it got scored a little bit high, but I think the ranking is kind of put it right where it belongs. You know how and I you know how many we go through that are not ranked properly and stuff like that. I think this one was. Um, I honestly I think it should be down around like a 7.2, a 7.2 or 7.3. Um, but on the comedic end of it, yeah, so it kind of depends on what angle you look at it for what you like when you're watching an anime. Um, because to me, they were doing two completely different, um, I don't want to say storyline because it all made sense. At least I didn't misunderstand it. But it was like they had this serious aspect, and then they had the kitchen sink and like you said, modern cooking grills and modern foods that wasn't invented back then, and all that. It was I don't know. I'll probably have to rewatch it again to maybe, but I want to get we want to get exactly what we think about every anime, good or bad, out there. Um, so where would you in your say, all right, you got your list of top 50. Where would you put this one?
Okay, so there was something about this anime, like I liked it and I watched it, but I will not give it a thumbs up. Like there are some things like, see, like in the second episode or third episode, they kill his brother. Like their
Oh,
uncle
yeah.
betrayed him, like he has lost everybody, and like within like a week, like he's happy, and he's like
Yeah,
these things will like these are there are some things that don't match up. Like the storyline is going way much speedy, like you have to slow down. Like I was thinking like the story they have will be the better theme with the anime, like the raven does not choose his master.
yes.
The way that they were
It made me
portraying the sam.
it made me
Yes.
think of that too. I mean, I love that anime. They stayed with the same story direction and they stayed with the same. I'm trying to think of the word for it. I guess you would want to say storyline conception. It was the same throughout. It didn't bounce between serious and comedic and you
Mhm.
know off because there was also some offbeat comedy in there. It wasn't even one type of comedy. It was like see, it seemed to me that the guy had a checklist of all the different types of animes he wanted to do, and he put them all in this one.
Yeah, so like it is a good for a laugh, or you can watch it, but like that's why I think like it's not much have that many members, and due to the less number of members, it scores high because the people who watch they give him the high star. But it
Yes.
is like I would say out of 10, I would say it is like 5. So I will.
Okay, so I actually scored it higher than you, and I actually. That's funny how that works sometimes because I at least give it a 7. It was, because they stayed in the same storyline, they were the whole thing was in a plot. I'm not, I mean, I like a comedy, but I want my comedy to be a comedy. Don't try to jerk some tears out of me in the first episode and then, throw something that's 1,000 or 1,500 years out of place in the next one. And you're right. I mean, the kid just lost his whole family or nothing, and he doesn't. I don't. Did he cry? I'd have to go back and look to see if he even. I mean, I'd be bummed if I lost that. He lost it not only his immediate family, but his entire extended family, with the exception of a couple of people. And now we seriously went over on our time today, but the conversation was good, so we won't end it if the conversation's good or if someone throws something up in the chat room. We'll discuss it with you right then. Don't forget, we got the best videos of 2023 coming out here in about another 10 days. And we got a whole new lineup for you all set. We were kind of talking, we're trying to figure out how to do a public calendar. We're not really sure how to do that yet. That way you can see, because we try to set about a month and a half in advance of what we're going to be talking about. And we want to try to figure, you as a listener and watching what we're doing, what would be helpful to you to know when you want to watch one of our shows or not. And that's why I want to get the calendar out so you can go, oh, hey, I'm interested in that one. I want to hear about it. And you know it's coming up. So you don't have to wait till the last minute to find out what we're doing. We do post on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're all over the place on the SEO. So just, look for Anime Analyst-US and come on back and listen to us again. We'll be here for you, and hopefully you'll be here too, and we can talk about the next anime that's coming up. So have a good night, and